Hello, everybody. Welcome to Abnormal Investigations. It's Monday night. We're trying a Monday night. A lot of y'all asked us to try Monday night due to church and everything, so we want to try to accommodate you, and hopefully Monday nights will be better for y'all. I know a lot of you said that you missed because of church, and we're trying to do what we can to be able to work around that. Kaylee was over here just a second ago, and she spilled some of her ice cream on my desk. She's walking around with a glob of ice cream. We just ate supper about 30 minutes ago. I thought she'd be full, but I guess she's going to finish off the ice cream in the house because I'd love to have some ice cream, but no, it's okay. She slobbered all over it.
No.
That makes me want some more ice cream right there. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and bring Scott and Jesse in.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
How are y'all tonight?
I'm great.
Doing good.
I have been nothing but busy today. I've been filming for Wide Open Adventures. So, and then, of course, preparing for this show. This is going to be I believe, a very good show. I do have a viewer discretion at the bottom running on the banner. Some of the material we talk about tonight may be uncomfortable for some people and definitely won't be for children. I'm just going to be honest. Some of the stuff that I was reading today is pretty scary. I didn't expect it to be this deep. I didn't expect it to be this. It's really worrisome. And we got some videos we're going to play later. We're going to discuss and give our opinions. I'm sure tonight, I'm not sure how the show will run with the things that we're going to dig into. We may find that we have some difficulties. I know a lot of people that are streaming this, that are covering this, they are having trouble with we're probably going to be talking about something they don't want.
You're glitching.
It's already started.
They're after you, Mike.
Oh my goodness.
Might be
everybody that has covered this subject said. Yeah, everybody that's covered this subject said they're having trouble, that they end up getting interrupted and their feed starts getting attacked. So hopefully
hope hey Mike, you are just
it won't
cutting in and out.
Is bad.
You have a drone above your house.
So, oh my God.
Jesse, can you hear me?
I could hear you just fine.
Okay, so we're okay. It's just Mike.
Yeah, it's just Mike.
He got one of them drones over his house.
Yeah. That's
Man,
what I'm guessing.
Y'all can hear me now? I'm assuming.
Can hear you now. For now.
Okay. I tell you what. Okay. Again, a warning for children or people that don't want to talk about. This could be sensitive or triggering for some individuals tonight, what we're going to talk about. It goes deep, and we're going to get a lot of opinions tonight. I'm sure we'll have a lot of opinions in the chat. I look forward to seeing what y'all think's going on. I dug pretty deep into it today. I made some phone calls to some old colleagues that I worked with, and got some of their opinions and things about what's going on and what they're experiencing, and it's weird. Some of the things that are being done, the protocols are not what you would expect to be happening. It's just not following the proper chain of command. the way that this should be handled. It's a lot of it's been pushed down to the local level, to where the local level really does not have the authority or the equipment to be able to deal with what's going on. So it's like there's a struggle. Well, here's where we get in trouble, I guess. There's kind of a struggle between the federal government and the local law enforcement. So, well, we're still here after that, so I guess we're doing okay. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I want to thank everybody for their support and prayers for my family. That means a lot to us. We appreciate that. I've been getting a lot of those throughout the week, and those are always appreciated. I'll take all the prayers I can get. I did have a lot of people reach out to me, and they asked me if I have read Barton Nunley's book, Inhumanoids. I have not, but I need to. I was talking to Jesse about it. I think last night we talked about it.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to get that book and read it. I hear it's a really good book. I think he's written quite a few books. He's helped a lot of people write their books. So I look forward to reading that book. They say it's one of the best books out there.
Yeah, he's got lots of information in there. It's really well written. He did a really good job on that. It's really good.
I'll definitely have to check that out. Everybody says it's one of the best books out there. So
Yeah, I need to read it too.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to read. I think Jesse actually has a copy of it.
Yep, I do.
You want to hold it up and show us?
I
No,
don't have
joking.
it with me. I was just looking for it because I was going to read something to you last night. I was going to show you something, and I don't. I was reading it, and I don't know where I put it.
Can you take a picture of each page and send it to us?
Yeah, I'll get right on it for you.
or how about you could narrate it to us at night?
There you go.
Okay, all right. I'll have to check with the author and let's see if he'll let me do that.
All right.
Well, I bet he would. He seems like a pretty good guy. He's a pretty cool guy. January, guys, it's looking pretty good. We got a lot of guests going to be coming on in January. One of the people that's going to be coming on, Scott knows pretty well. Roger is going to be coming on in January. I spoke with him today, and
good.
We got that all worked out. He'll be coming in probably the middle of the month. He's going to be coming on, and I'm just guessing if he does, he will probably have some of his entourage with him. So we'll have a pretty big panel that night, I would imagine.
Yeah, it'll be a good show.
I hear it's always a blast.
Oh, yeah.
If we don't get kicked out tonight, we will then.
There you go.
So this is one of the weird things to me. We'll go ahead and get started on these. I never even thought about this last summer. Yeah, it was last summer. I started noticing, and I've mentioned it a few times on here to you guys, the lights that I was seeing in the Northeast and in the Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
I had never seen those before. That was something totally new to me. And I just blew it off as, airplanes but I could tell they were weird because of the way that they were moving. One particular night, I actually was on the phone and I showed Jesse, and that was the night that I was like, okay, these are not ordinary lights. The way that they were moving was not a way an aircraft moves. And whenever I showed them to Jessie, she immediately could tell when I showed it to her that these were not moving naturally. And the weird thing is they were concentrated over where I investigate.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of disturbing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had anything to do with our encounters. And I do have some questions about that here in just a little bit and see what y'all think about that, because I do have kind of some weird theories and stuff I thought about today. And Hopefully, on some of it, I'm wrong because I would like to hope that some of this is not as it seems. But it seems like some of this is, if you have children or family and stuff like that, some of this is pretty worrisome when you really get down and start looking into it. That's Mom. They can hear you. She's having her chips.
Oh, Lord.
But,
Okay, so
yeah.
I need a snack.
gotta get some more barbecue sauce Mike makes and put it on your chips.
Yeah. You're gonna have to turn your volume down a little bit too, 'cause it's back feeding. I don't think she's with it tonight too much.
I thought you had your headphones on.
No, I'm not wearing my headphones tonight. They cover up my hairline, you know.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
That beautiful top hair. I have to wear my hat, you know, because everybody knows. You know that is the most feminine thing I've never seen a man that feminine. I would not be comfortable around him doing anything. But anyways, getting back to it, you know, I guess I hang out with men. You know, we actually are used to working outside, getting dirty, and yeah, we don't really look at each other as, hey Scott, I think you'd be a lot cuter if you had a little more hair. You know, around here that don't fly. You know, I mean, I don't know what they do down there though, but there is a rumor it goes around about that. You know, but we'll leave that alone.
Mom,
But you know what?
tell Randy and Jamie I said hello.
Okay, Randy and Jamie, somebody. Mom said tell y'all hello. I'm trying to read and convey messages. We have a budget of approximately $824 billion to our defense budget in the United States. We have one of the largest defense budgets of any country. And right now we have, depending on who you talk to, we have drones. And I don't even know if you call them drones, because I would almost say some of these would be considered small aircraft, because they're saying that some of these are the size of SUVs and small cars. Some of them they're saying they're guessing that they have an approximate 6 to 8 foot wingspan. So these are not like your little drones that you're seeing coming out of Walmart or anything. These are a lot larger. Also, they're coming from some pretty strange places. I don't know, Jesse. Have you heard where they're saying they're coming from? Have you heard that part yet?
I have heard some claims that they're coming from the ocean shore. However, listening to some of the other people that have more background knowledge on these have stated that the type of drones that these are wouldn't be able to travel that far due to battery life, and for the fact that they're actually out where they are for as long as they are and to travel back. But I don't know where else they have said that they are coming from. That's the only other place that I have heard.
Okay. There is a we will play a video. I'm going to play something for you guys. And the way that this sounds, I thought was really, really strange. And we'll get your all's opinion on this. But it is a little bit disturbing if you're really thinking about this as happening in the United States, and without us being able to tell exactly what it is or what's going on. I mean, you know, we're the greatest power out there, the most sophisticated. We have the most technology, and our cities are. I mean, we've got stuff in our skies that we don't even know what they are, where they came from, or anything, what they're carrying. But I'm going to go ahead and show y'all this. And guys, I'm not ignoring the chats. If I miss anything, I'll try to get it at the end of the show. But whenever I do these videos, I'm not able to look at the chat, the live chat. I actually have to go to a different screen, just so y'all know I'm not ignoring you. So I don't want y'all to think that I'm not paying attention. This right here, I'm going to go ahead. I want you to listen to what this guy right here has to say.
And other places. So we got an update on the drone situation in New Jersey, New York, and other places. And of course, it didn't come from the FBI, didn't come from the White House, it came from a Republican congressman talking to Harris Faulkner this morning. Do you want to hear what he had to say?
How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly.
Wait, did I just hear that right? Did Jeff Van Drew, Congressman, Republican, just tell us that sources that he's been talking to said that Iran launched a mothership off the East Coast and we haven't done anything about it? What the hell is going on, Joe? Hey, Joe, what are you doing? Folks, this is a big deal. If we've allowed one of the United States' chief enemies, Iran, to put a mothership off the East Coast and are allowing them to launch drones into the United States, and our military didn't know about it, our FBI is not aware of it, and the White House is pretending like they have no idea, this is a big effing deal, guys. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about this in the coming hours and days, but if Joe Biden is allowing drones to be flown into our country from Iran with the knowledge of China, we got a problem. We got a big problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the part that I had heard from other drone people that fly drones have stated that even if that was the case, that there was a mothership off the coast, for the drones to travel that far in, battery life wouldn't last. However, who knows? I mean, but then again, we're going to let government officials tell us what we should be believing at this point. Yes.
I can tell you right now, the drones that they use probably have something we don't even know about hiring them. So, no telling how much they can do.
I was kind of caught on the thing that Psychic Interconnections was saying is, what do they mean by mothership?
I heard it was a ship, ocean ship, outside of the coastal United States on the East Coast.
Right. And you know, that kind of like what Urso said, you know, mothership it's not a commonly used name for a vessel. Whenever you hear mothership, you think of something in the sky like a, you know, War of the Worlds or something like that. So was there a subliminal message in that? Is there, and that, now this is all hypothetical, this is a theory. Is there something out there that we don't know where it came from? And I'm not saying that it came from outer space or anything, but what I am saying is we don't even know what's flying over us right now, let alone about where it came from. I mean, it's scary because, I mean, some of the things we're going to talk about tonight and some of the things that I have found is going to take us way back in time. It's going to take us back. I have some theories on this, and yeah, I went back into my investigative mindset that I haven't used in a long time. And I went back and I dug and I called some colleagues and we talked about some things. And I had a lot of questions and I think we came up with some good theories. You know, whenever you can look from outer space and you can see somebody's house and tell what color car is sitting in the driveway. And we're able to listen to conversations from space. We're able to send a rocket plumb across the world and they say drop it inside of a 5-gallon bucket, but yet we can't trace 50 drones in a pack flying over our airports, not just our civilian airports, our military airports, and some of our military establishments that where these things are at. You know, that they make some comments that really threw me off. They say, well, we don't know what these are or where they came from. We don't know the origin of them. We don't really know what they are, but we we don't feel like they're a threat. Well, how can you make an assessment if something's a threat or not? I thought a threat would be something that's in our our fly zones, that's shutting down our military air force bases from launching the jets that protect us. And if we can't launch jets, then we have no air superiority. And
Yeah.
we're saying that's not a threat.
Yeah, these drones are flying in federal airspace, which, I mean, I think that it's a regulation that to fly drones of that size, you have to have some type of a registration license to be able to fly those. So if they are not registered and flying in federal airspace, then they should be brought down.
Uh,
And
amen.
and it's well known our government has the devices to be able to take these things down.
Oh,
I was looking that all up today too. There are several devices and technologies that we have to be able to take them down carefully and enough to protect any civilians in the area, whether they have some type of explosions on them or not. They have devices to do that. We've had
right.
that technology since 2017 at the very latest, from what I could tell. So for them to say that they aren't able to take them down and don't shoot them down, but they don't know what they are, they're gaslighting us.
I agree.
And not only are they telling us not to shoot them down, and I think I have it on a video we'll play here in a second. They're threatening people now that if you do even shoot at them, that it's a federal offense and you're looking at a minimum of 5 years in prison if you even shoot at one of these, because federal airspace is not controlled by local authorities. It's controlled by the federal government,
Mm-hmm.
which is what's causing a lot of trouble with the state and local police. Is they don't have, not only can they not do anything, they don't have the jurisdiction to do anything. It's out of their jurisdiction. The law does not protect them to be able to deal with what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to a little bit of Donald Trump today. He gave a speech, and he said he believes that the government knows what they are, but why they won't come out and say what they are, he doesn't know. He said he said, I think they should, to calm down the mass hysteria that it's causing. I mean, they're having their hospitals overran right now in New Jersey and other places now, with people having panic attacks. People are having heart attacks. People are calling in, crying because their kids, they don't know if they should shelter in place. They don't know what they should do. A lot of people's mental health has been affected over this because they don't know what's going on. And our own government, which is our local government, they seem to be trying to find a solution to it, but their hands are tied. And there was a case, and I can't remember, and maybe you'll remember this, Jesse, and I think we might have talked about this with Justin at one time, Justin Decker, and I think that we discussed this. Wasn't there a country that had these flying saucers that men in black suits were riding on? Didn't they call them like the face peelers or something like that?
I vaguely remember that. Yes. But I don't remember where it was.
I can't remember exactly where it was at, but they was riding on these things. They don't know how human they were, because they said they were humanoid looking, but they were in black suits to where you couldn't see their face or anything. They were riding on these boards that had flashing lights on them, and they were actually cutting the faces off of their people. So I was talking today and I was wondering, okay, we're not worried about these things in the sky right now. Yeah, you're right. Romans is right. It was Peru.
Oh,
Um,
oh yeah.
what happens in the future, and y'all tell me what you think if you think it's even plausible, but what happens in the future whenever they're not just flying in the skies? What happens whenever whatever's driving these start landing at night and try to come into our homes?
I actually saw a few posts today where people were talking about, and I don't know, again, the credibility, but they've stated that, yeah, these drones were flying over their homes and they were either getting sick or getting strange feelings. And when they would go outside, these drones would be flying over. And that goes back to what we were talking about the other night with, are they spraying stuff? Are they releasing stuff into the air? But they're obviously affecting people more than just hovering in over cities at this point.
Right. Well, there was a guy that mentioned today that he was talking to some of his friends out of New Jersey, and whenever these crafts would come over their houses or over their cars, that their clocks, the times on their clocks would change. I wish he would have went more into detail into that. I don't know if he meant that the clocks time would change or if the clocks would go back to the 12 o'clock reset. Um, that would tell us a lot too. I don't know if all he said was the clocks would change in the cars and in the homes on the microwaves and electronics. That makes you think of an electromagnetic pulse is being used for whatever reason, propulsion maybe. Maybe they're scanning and looking for something. That's some of the rumors that's out right now, that there was a briefcase that's missing that had a dirty you know what in it, and they're afraid that it might have made it into the United States, and they believe that they're trying to locate it, is one of the rumors that's going around. They believe it came out of Ukraine.
Was it a briefcase? Because with the nuclear stuff in it, because the way they made it sound on a couple other shows was it was something quite large.
The last one I heard is the guy that was talking said that it was a dirty, and it would be placed in a suitcase,
Okay.
which would approximately 8 city blocks in a large city.
Wow.
Well, and I know that they had stated a few weeks ago that there were drone sightings along the main highway structures going through, I think it was like Missouri, Kentucky, and what these drones are possibly doing and why they would be flying at night would because they would be able to pick up radioactive isotopes at night. And that's what they were trying to do, was follow the radioactivity. And
Right.
it would have been possibly on the main highway.
And what Keith is saying also was what I heard today also.
Mm-hmm.
And they believe that it has made its way into the United States. So,
well, the thing that really gets me about that, though, is that, again, kind of like with 9/11, the government was warned of that possibility months ago,
Right.
and they did not take it into consideration. Surprise, surprise.
I think sometimes I think we have the complacent that we think that we can't be touched on our own soil. And there's a lot of people out there that's angry at us right now. We're involved in a lot of different conflicts with a lot of different people with a lot of different backgrounds, and we're not the most popular person on the block right now. And the consensus is, and there was a guy talking today, kind of disturbing. They took a poll. 35% of Americans side with Putin, that America is bullying him. That's scary. I'm not saying I side with that. I'm just talking polls. I just read numbers today.
Right.
35% of the people are siding with Putin. That's American people siding with another country, saying that we're being too forceful, we're being a bully, we're meddling in things we shouldn't be, we're not minding our own business. They said there has never been a number that high in our country ever to where our people has favored another country. Patriotism is down. It's a scary time right now, and what we're going to dig into here in just a little bit. I mean, it gets even worse because okay, here's one of my theories that I dug in today, and I'll let you and Scott tell me what you think, and also you guys in the comments, feel free to comment. I'm going to be reading them now and after the show. Me and Jesse and Scott always go back and look after the show because y'all make great comments, and I'm looking for any opinions, theories, guys. You're protected here. We all allow each other to talk. We all have the right to have our opinions and theories. Do you think that what's happening right now goes along with the big push to get all the 5G towers up?
Mm.
That was
I didn't think about that either.
Yeah.
I told you I'd done some of my digging today. I went investigator on it because 5G towers, the way they're located, they run off of high radiation. They would be able to not only control large crafts. So that was just one of the things I was wondering. What do you all think? Do you think the 5G towers and the push to get all those up and how fast they went up? And as soon as they went up, man, it wasn't long until this started happening. I mean, not on the scale that it's on right now, but people were reporting this 6 months to a year ago.
Right.
Well, and that would make sense too, to go along with one of the other things that I was looking into myself today in regards to, we talk about different things that happen even within the cryptid world with mind speak and stuff. I got documentation and verification today that, yeah, our government does for sure have the technology, which these towers would give them the ability to span this all over the country, to be able to use subliminal messaging and implant messages right into our brains. Now that's scary.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree with that. That is scary.
That's scary, but y'all want to hear something else that really bothered me today that I found out that really bothered me? This was reported, and I believe I'll have the video on this in a little bit. This was reported by a sheriff. Okay, this is a sheriff. He saw one of these drones, and he said it had something similar to a rope hanging down in his backyard along his tree. What are they trying to grab, or what are they letting out of them?
It's a good question.
Because we know the military, whenever they come in, special forces, special ops on helicopters, they drop the big ropes and they slide down them, and they also reattach to them, and they leave.
Mm-hmm.
Are they dropping something off? Are they picking something up? Or here we go. This is where I'm going to take it down my little my little theory mind. Is that where a lot of our missing people's been going, our cattle and everything? Are we just now starting to see what's really been going on?
I don't know, because I mean, some of those things where, like, cattle going missing and then coming back, or being placed in places that they couldn't even fit into. I mean, you hear about them being all shoved into containers that you wouldn't even be able to get them in without sedating them and using machines and stuff. So I don't know if that's necessary. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
What if these crafts were equipped with dart guns like what us farmers use, but on a higher skill level. And it wouldn't necessarily just have to be used for animals.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Wouldn't be the first time that the government has used us for experimentation purposes.
Right.
I thought that was kind of strange to me that they had a rope hanging down, and the sheriff, if I remember right, I believe he ended up shooting at the craft, even after he'd been warned not to. But I still think, and again, guys, I'm not giving legal advice. Don't do as I say. I'm just giving opinions. I still think that we have the right, if we feel that our life or the life of our family or someone is threatened, to be able to defend ourselves, no matter where it comes from. I mean, we don't know what these are. If the government don't know, we sure don't know.
Yeah, the government probably knows what they are and what they're about. They're,
I think
my
so too.
opinion, I think they know exactly what they are and what they're doing here. I mean, last year we shot down weather balloons that had cameras on them.
Yeah.
Right.
Immediately. The minute they shot them, they shot them down.
They had no problem shooting those down.
Right. So I think why they're protecting these drones might be that it's our own drones. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Well, and like I said, there are several devices that our military has the ability to take these things down.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Why are they waiting to find out who is running them? You take them down, that's how you find out who's running them.
Right. If they were concerned about it, if it was a danger to us, believe me, I think they would be shooting them down or whatever. But they wouldn't be letting them fly around if they were a threat to the United States. That would be ludicrous.
I've got another theory for you that I thought about today. We made we pretty much sent a message to Russia today, and we told them that if they were to use nuclear warheads, and I thought it was a pretty bold statement, we told them that we have the means to stop them. We straight out told them,
right?
You try to use nuclear warheads, we can stop you now. We have the technology to stop you.
In my opinion, we do.
Yeah, I mean, we straight out. That's the first time everybody was talking about it. They interviewed some gentlemen about it from the military, and they all said the same thing. We have never made that bold of a statement to any country. The last statement ever made about that was, we would not be able to stop every one of them because they shoot. You have your main ones, and then you have your ones that are fake that's coming in. There's too many to hit them all, so you can't get them all. But now today, we made a bold statement and said, if you all, because Russia was testing their ICBMs again, and we made the comment to them, you can't hit us no more. So what I was wondering, could these drones be part of a defense mechanism, sort of like the Iron Dome in Israel? If they fire those at us, are we going to use the drones to make a net? Because China proved, what was it, last week, that their drones now can make a net completely around cities.
Well, we have the technology that we don't even need drones to make nets.
Right. I mean, even Trump said it in a interview that we are protected no matter what comes at the United States. That there is protection that'll take care of anything that comes towards us.
Yeah, there's actually, I wrote it down. Hold on. What is it called? The sky fence. That's what it is. It's actually a invisible fence line that is able to be, it creates a radio transmitter and will basically knock anything out that is remote controlled or mechanically controlled, and it will hit the wall and just drop.
Right.
So very similar to that.
I mean, that goes all the way back to Star Trek. They were using, that in the movie, they were using the same thing. putting a shield around their ship to where they couldn't get hurt.
Yep.
Right.
I believe
They-
anything. I believe anything that's you see or anything man thinks of can be made or be done.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's been proven.
They was talking about that to Putin today. Of course, it was an argument back and forth, and Putin, he laughed and said that our best technology cannot stop, and they called it his Satan missiles, which are supposed to travel, I forget, a lot faster than what ours do, and they do not go, they do not leave the atmosphere and then come down like your normal nukes would. His fly low, super fast, and are super accurate. And they asked our government when they interviewed him, is that true? Does he have that technology? And they said, last they knew, he does have approximately 10 of those with very large warheads on them. So I'm guessing that is kind of a threat to us. It has us really watching those. And of course, you know that if all this is happening right now, he's probably trying to mass produce them. If he believes it can beat our defenses, that's what he's going to be trying to mass produce right now. I think it's a scary time. You know, I mean, we can detect birds on a radar and tell people when birds are migrating or grasshoppers or stuff like that, but we can't find drones. That's strange to me because
Well,
you know you can even watch the Weather Channel and they'll tell you this is not clouds right here. This is the birds on their annual migration.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked, you know, a bird is a lot smaller than an SUV.
the way I believe right now is God's in control. I mean, if anybody's in control of the world, it's God. And nothing will go unless God allows it to go, no matter what.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, we know for sure there's a lot of evil at work right now in the world.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about that.
Right. And the Bible says it's going to come. So,
right. Okay, so here's my big controversial thing that I was thinking about today. Another one of my theories. This will probably get a lot of comments in the chat. I'm ready for this one. Whenever I wrote it out today, I was like, this one right here has been talked about everywhere. And I don't know if they have put it together with this. So, if a country can't control it, then they don't want it, or we destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, if you look at a time graph, guys, and this is just my theory, trust me, it's been 10 years since I've worked and had any theory, so I could be way off. This is just what I looked at. My theory is how fast the 5G towers went up. Then we had a lot more UFOs, which were turned to UAPs. They renamed them. All that happened within the 5G tower time. You had the 5G towers went up, then we went to UAPs, and we had people reporting seeing these lights in the sky. All that started happening, and then all of a sudden, our government decides that we need to get rid of TikTok. You see, we can't control the information that comes across that because they can't censor it because they don't have any say over it. And a lot of our news right now that people are getting that's not being censored, covered up, twisted, or whatever is coming from TikTok. And now all of a sudden TikTok's right in the crosshairs. We got to get rid of TikTok.
right.
Yep. 100%. They took Facebook and a bunch of other social media platforms to the, whatever you call it, the government hearings, and went after them because they removed things during the big shot conspiracy, and they came out and said they were told by other government officials that they needed to remove specific people, and they were called out for the First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, and that they shouldn't have been doing it. But what choices did they have? And so here with TikTok, why does the government say that this is a issue with Homeland Security? Because the government can't control it, because they don't own any portions of it to be able to control it through the FSA. And without having that control through the FSA,
Right.
there's nothing that they can do to ban things off of there. So that is where people go to get a lot of their news, because they are getting firsthand news experience from civilians and the people that are on there going, take a look at what's going on in my backyard right now.
Right.
They can't block them.
And we're getting, the firsthand information we're getting is because news reporters can't be everywhere, and you got a better likelihood that there's going to be a teenager or somebody out there with their cell phone that's going to have live TikTok, and you're going to get just almost an immediate, news update. And they don't have a chance to change it or make it fit their narrative. Is that, and I'm putting it as a question. I'm not saying that it's, that's what's happening. I'm just saying, asking as a question, do you believe that's what put them in the crosshairs?
Well, and again, is it that news reporters can't be everywhere? Or is it that news reporters are being told what they can and can't report? If you look at news stations from all over, they report the exact same information, almost word for word.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And also, if you control the newspapers and everything, the media, you control the narrative. But another thing I was thinking about also is, for instance, if you can control the newspapers, you can pretty much control, what's going to be put out. But if you have, say, somebody that's a whistleblower that has access to TikTok, that has access to uploading something anonymously, just a question. And I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but you notice our live timer up there and numbers turned red around it and now turned blue?
No.
Yeah. On my end, it all lit up blue and it has a red circle around it. It's never done that before.
Oh, I bet we got flagged.
But
the government's listening to it. They're like, uh-oh.
And, I'm just posing as questions. I'm not posing anything as fact. It's just, questions.
Right. Right.
Entertainment purposes only, everybody.
Yeah, it's entertainment purposes only. Take it,
yep.
As you want.
And it's only an opinion.
Yeah, it's just an opinion. We're not saying anything is factual. It's just, like I said, everybody's here for entertainment purposes. I have a video, and I think y'all will enjoy this one too. This is one of them.
This was happening at Langley a month ago, okay? These people are not crazy. They're seeing these things with their own eyes. This is not normal behavior. They are not planes that are coming in one direction and they're heading into Newark Airport and then they're landing, okay? We spend $824 billion on defense. We have the greatest intelligent capability in the world. So how can you stand there and say to the country right now, gosh darn, we just don't know what these are?
Because I'm not going to lie to you or to the American people, and I'm not going to say we know something when we don't. And we would never, ever stoop to think that an American citizen was crazy or nuts because of what they're seeing and what they're documenting. We're taking that imagery seriously, and we're doing the best we can to analyze it, and we encourage people to come forward if they have additional sightings and imagery. We want to do the best we can to triangulate it, but I'll be gosh darn if I'm going to stand up here and make up stuff that I don't know to be true.
We don't want you to make up anything. Do you know and you can't say? Can you tell me that?
No, I'm telling you, Martha, I'm telling you we don't.
You don't know.
We can't corroborate every single sighting. Some of them we have, not all of them, and we're working hard to do that.
Can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, my mic keeps turning off on its own.
Yeah,
After we talk, my mic keeps cutting off, and I have to turn it back on.
That was like a comedy skit for them to say, we're not going to tell people that they're crazy for things that they've said, seen, and
right.
Oh, wow, really? When did that change?
It was also, you notice there was a lot of stuttering in his answer, and he was very defensive.
Very defensive.
So, well, and here's the other question. So when he says, we don't know, is he using that as a general term because maybe he doesn't know because he wasn't privy to that information? So therefore, him not being privy and going on air and saying, we don't know what that is. If I knew, I'd tell you. Of course you don't know what it is. They didn't tell you what it is. They just said, go and talk about it.
Like whenever I took media relations, whenever I was working, I see a lot of things that he's doing right there that we were taught. Number one, he's being defensive. Like, if I knew, you would know. Whenever he says we doesn't say we as in who. He's just saying we don't know. He could be using we as a classification as of you guys don't know. There's a lot of things that he's leaving a lot of loopholes in whenever he's answering the question, which he's trained to do that. If they are not wanting to let something out. And I like the point to where he gets really mad and says, well, I'm not going to make something up if I don't know.
Right.
He's trying to reassure you that he doesn't know. He's trying really, really hard to tell you he doesn't know. And, I think if I was in his position and had the power he had, it wouldn't be that I don't know, because I was always told that I was never allowed to answer I don't know. I was always told that if I didn't know, you tell people you'll find out. And it doesn't seem to me like he's trying that hard to find out, because, I mean, you go to court as an officer and you tell a judge, I don't know. Yeah, you're going to be staying after court, I promise you. Because the answer they're looking for is, if you don't know, you'll find out.
Right.
That's not a professional answer, is to say, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a cover up, and I don't know. I got another video for y'all, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. This one here is in East Rome, and not Rome as in Rome, but I believe it's around New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. Does that sound right to you, Jesse? East Rome. That's around New Jersey, right?
Sure. I'm sorry. I was replying to Weary Bunny.
Was you having wine tonight?
No, that was the other night, actually.
But this one here, and I'm going to say this, a little disclaimer. If this is a real video of what's actually happening, because there is so much AI out there, it is hard to distinguish between true. This one here, I'm not sure if it's true or not. So we'll take a vote with everybody in the audience. Let us know if you think this is real or AI. If this is real, guys, this is pretty crazy. I mean, I try to picture myself in the shoes of these people that are recording this. That if you're there at that moment, this would have to be frightening. I could understand it. And so here, let me go ahead.
Got a drone over East Rome now. Just keep hovering over East Rome. But they about to get it though. Y'all hear that? Goddamn drone for real. Look at it.
Personally, in my opinion, it's not real. What's all the shooting? What's all the shooting doing? I mean,
they are actually having trouble with a lot of people shooting them down. They done okay. There was, let me see if I can find his name for you real quick. I found this kind of funny myself. Let's see. It's in my notes. I hadn't made it that far yet. Uh, okay. This is a senator. Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut last week called for the drones to be shot down, and there has been multiple gunfire at drones, especially in the South. I thought that was kind of comical because only in the South is a guy sitting out in his yard on the tailgate of his truck with a beer, and a shotgun, just waiting for a drone to come over.
Hey, Second Amendment. That's all I'm going to say.
I guess that way you don't have to yell "pool,"
Hey, I saw they're giving out a little certificate license to shoot them down today.
Oh yeah. I think Sharon Guy bought one. I think she ended up getting one of those.
Yep.
Yeah, I like how somebody said that was a video game somebody was watching or playing.
Starfire. I don't know the exact date it was released. It was recent. It was recent. But yeah, Randy's right. It's like Oklahoma target practice in the skies. I mean, there's probably people out there hoping to get a chance, there was a guy that shot one down allegedly today, and he done a video on it, and he is supposedly allegedly very sick, and he has radiation poisoning, and they're giving him iodine tablets at the hospital. Which could theoretically explain the long battery life and long flight of these if they're using nuclear energy to power them.
That's what I was saying. If they're staying up in the sky and traveling like they're doing, then they've got some other power we don't know about.
Which, by the way, for anybody that's watching, I would suggest that if you are a home prepper, that you possibly invest in some iodine tablets for yourself and your family.
May not be a bad thing, or start chewing on charcoal.
Activated charcoal. Yes. Not just charcoal, just activated charcoal, yes.
I got some in my aquarium. I'll be fine.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to bring up too before I forget for everybody, which Sharon actually reminded me today, and I actually use it. It's called Flight Radar 24. If you don't already have it on your app, I suggest you, as an app on your phone or your device, download Flight Radar 24. It actually will, if there are planes or choppers or anything flying over the area where you are, it'll actually give you the height, speed, tag, all of that information on what is actually flying around you and above you. And if it's not, it's probably a drone.
I seen a guy today, kind of cracked me up what you're talking about, that flight radar thing. They were talking to him, and he had his hat on backwards. And of course, he had his AR-15 slung across the front of him. And they asked him if he had downloaded the app. And, of course, he answered, hell no. And they're like, why not? He's like, you really think I'm going to trust an app that the government gives me to believe that there ain't nothing there or something there? He said, when I see it with my eyes, then I'll believe it.
Well, the other nice thing about it is that you can actually, not only that can you actually track it, but I was actually watching it while back because you could even see flying vehicle or flying planes and choppers and stuff that were high up in the sky that you couldn't even hear or see necessarily. And you could see their flight paths as well and where they were going and where they were coming from. And they wouldn't necessarily tell you, where they left, what station they left and where they're going, but you could see where they were flying. And there should be no reason why planes are flying 60,000 feet in the air?
Yeah, I
really
think the average is 30,000.
yes.
40,000.
So anything that's flying that high up in the air, it's military and they're doing something.
And I don't think you need headlights, really, do you? Up in the sky like that.
No.
No, I mean, you need lights so other things don't hit it, but
When
Right.
you're down, yeah, at other levels, but not when you're up that high.
right, right.
So nobody would see you. Yeah.
So there's been some people try to fly some drones up to these drones and try to catch them with their drone on camera to kind of see what they look like. Every time they try to do it, their drones automatically go from 100% battery to 0 and fall to the ground. There is
Hmm.
something around these that is protecting them from other drones approaching them.
Interesting.
And there was 2 guys arrested, I believe, in Boston that were flying drones trying to get a close up of them, and they were actually arrested for violating federal airspace. So they're waiting. They're actually in jail awaiting. They said there could possibly be more charges coming from the federal government, not just from the local level. So
Yeah, my opinion. My opinion is if they're protecting these drones, they know what they are. Why are they threatening people? You know, saying that you can't do this, you can't do that.
Well, you know what? Watch them turn around and blame it on those people that they arrest.
Right.
Well, now that you say that, today the government released a statement saying there was no need for people to fear because they had over 1,000 reported drones. Of that 1,000, only 100 of them needed to be followed up, and most of those ended up being just single airplanes, private airplanes, and they were not drones. So there's a lot of misidentification. They also came out today and said that a new law had recently passed that people were now allowed to fly their drones at night, and people are just not allowed to see drones or not used to seeing drones at night. So it's a shell shocker to people, and everything seems to be on the up and up, that there's nothing to worry about. But you're going to see here in a second when we play some video clips that doesn't seem to be what senators, governors, sheriffs, all they don't share. There's a conflict of interest going on between the federal government and the local authorities, because you can tell that they're unhappy. They're not happy with what's going on.
Right.
You know, I was thinking about something the other day, and I don't know, this may not even have nothing to do with it, but a lot of boots on the ground investigators recently, if you've noticed, and I'm going to use her name. Hopefully, she doesn't get mad at me and get me for copyright on this, but we'll use it as a shout out for her too. Dee's Dark Adventures. I noticed on a lot of her boots on the ground that she is having more encounters and more EVPs. I noticed that around the same time that these drones started showing up and I started having lights over the areas that I'm investigating, I started getting increased EVPs and the lights in the air. So my question is it possible or even feasible, because I'm not a high-tech person, I don't know a lot about electronics and EVPs and all that, just what I would ask is it possible? Oh hell, I'll just go down the rabbit hole. We know the government does not want us in the woods or in the forest, especially in certain places. They want to control our access. That's why we have trails for people to walk down. They know that 9 times out of 10, the normal person is not going to go off trail through the woods. So my question is, since you're starting to get a lot more people that are interested in the Bigfoot field, they're doing boots on the ground, they got better equipment, they're going out and looking. Could these drones, and we can look at it from two different ways, but could these drones be sending us false information, EVPs? Could they be practicing their Operation Bluebeam to mess with us a little bit? Or could we actually be accidentally recording conversations between whatever they're trying to communicate with on the ground? Is there something going on around us that we're not quite sure what's going on?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Don't have an answer.
Right. Not all at once, Jesse. You're supposed to have the answers.
No.
Because my mind is really, I'm wondering, like, because all this, I mean, if you look back at a timeline, it all comes together. You got the 5G towers, you got the UAPs, you have the lights that's reported in the skies, you got investigators getting more encounters, but the encounters are not necessarily cryptid.
Nope.
We went from cryptid encounters to now we're battling more with
demonic.
Yeah, demonic. The EVPs,
Yeah.
Scott Carpenter.
But not saying that the drones are demonic, just saying
No.
that some of the
EVPs.
Well,
Right.
and also a lot of the experiences and encounters, especially with you and Dee, I mean, neither of you even knew what the other was experiencing on those nights. But when you guys were going back to back, or either on the same night or the next night out, you were having almost identical things that were going on.
Right. And that's what I heard is a lot of the things that I was having happened that Dee was having happen. And I'm pretty sure, I think she's pretty far from me. Teresa, thank you very much for that. God bless you.
Thank you, Teresa.
She's in Ohio.
So, I mean, you could even take it a step further and go down the rabbit hole, and you could say, okay, are they the ones doing this? Or are they investigating what we're hearing and what we're seeing just on a higher level? Because there is something out there and they have better equipment, a lot more funding to be able to hunt these things down. Or are they what put them out there, There's Squatch and Holler in here with us tonight.
All right. Hey, Roger.
Hello.
He says one of two things: either they are ours and no threat, or they are superior entities and we can't do anything about them. Most have aviation lights. So yeah, it's not like they're trying to hide. I mean, they're not worried about being discreet. So
well, and I would kind of argue, even if they are ours, are they seriously a no threat? They're no threat to the government, obviously, but are they no threat to us, the public?
Depends on
another question.
Depends on if you
just ask.
Depends on if you like being probed or not.
No, I don't like being probed.
Oh, Mike, you always come up with one.
I know that
I'm glitching tonight.
I know that if they light me up with the light, I'm going to run. And then when I get about 50 yards away, I'll yell for Sarah to run. Then, yeah, I'm not going to hang. I'm not going to hang around to find out what they want. I'm just going to hope that Sarah still has her camera running when they take her.
Yeah, Mike's going to lock himself in the safety shelter, tornado shelter.
Man, I tell you, it's a scary thought to think about nuclear war. As adults, it's scary, but then we think about our children and we think about our loved ones, watching them have to go through what that would mean. That is a very dark and scary road. Thank God that I live in an area of our country that's not even on the map. You call somebody and I tell them where I live, and they're like, "Where? What?" Yeah, they've never even heard of where I'm at. They're like, "Are you sure that's their town?" I'm like, yeah, been here.
I can't even pronounce any of the lakes in your state. I've looked at them. I'm like, I wouldn't even know how to begin. Ukaluga Laga and all that weird stuff. I don't.
Oh, you mean Ulaga?
Whatever it is, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect the fact that they are. I think they're Cherokee Nation names, right?
A lot
For the
of
lakes.
yeah, a lot of them are.
Well, and I like the names.
Yeah. Here's your one. I'll let y'all think about this. The FBI and Homeland Security said they have no evidence that the aircraft pose a natural security or public safety threat or have foreign nexus. Well, first off, my argument would be if we don't know whose they are and they're not ours, they're definitely have to be foreign, right?
Well, yeah, you only makes sense.
So, but they don't even know if they are foreign. But they're not ours. We don't know whose they are, but they're not foreign. We don't know that for sure.
Right.
Which, that was weird to me. And I don't know how you can assess something and say it's not a threat if you don't know what it is.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if a plane goes off course and it starts heading towards the White House or towards any kind of structure, it's going to be shot down. They said that. They said they will take any plane down that is a threat to any structure after 9/11.
Yep.
So they know what these things are. In my opinion, they know what these things are.
And like what Roger just said, how much does that want to make you go jump on an airplane right now and fly, knowing these things are up there and we don't know what they're, where they're from? Who's to say that one of these don't decide to go right into one of our planes?
Right.
That would be catastrophic.
Yeah, or shoot something at the plane. I mean, they're capable of shooting if they've got weapons attached to them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or if one of them just decides to just take off and just kamikaze.
Yeah, my opinion is I think they would have already shot them down if they even thought they were a threat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion, but I don't think. I mean, shoot, if a boat even comes across the waterline in the ocean, they're on top of it immediately.
Yep.
I mean, so I don't think people need to worry and get all upset and mess up their lives over this. I just don't think it's that big of a threat, or somebody would be taking care of it.
Like what Urso, just said. Actually, I just seen this right now. Ohio Air Force Base closes airspace. Drones flying around Wright-Patterson Air Force Base near Dayton, Ohio, forced base officials to shut down the airport for close to an hour, stopping all aircraft from landing and taking off. There's another Air Force base that these drones have allegedly shut down.
And we don't think that our government wouldn't stop that if it was a danger.
Right.
I mean, do you think they were told to shut their down because they needed to test these around that area? I mean, it's just an opinion, but
my friend just sent this to me. He said, get your all's opinion on this. So what do y'all think about this? He said right now or today there was a B-52 in the air flying over the United States. We have nuke sniffing planes in the air over the United States right now. And the presidential doomsday plane is also in the air.
Well, one of the theories is that these drones are actually out looking for nukes.
That's, yeah, I've heard that.
But the fact that if that's true, that the doomsday plane is out there, I don't know.
But okay, I'll put myself in that situation. If I was leader of this country and I didn't know what was flying around out there, the last place I want to be is up there flying around with it. You know, I'd be like,
Right.
I think I'll take the convoy. I don't really want to go flying tonight. I mean,
And why? Yeah, and why would they have the plane out there if that is the threat? Because we know that there's tunnels. We know that there's
Oh,
bases for
my goodness.
them to run to. So why would they be in the air? They're redirecting everybody to look at something else.
I'm not too far from Fort Knox, and that gold vault supposedly goes 40 stories under the ground. Just imagine what they have everywhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
right. Hey, we got the Lost Cryptid Conservatory in here. Hey, Blake, how you doing, bud?
Hey, Blake.
It's I don't know. Let me show y'all something. Let me show you something, as Fire Marshal Bill would say.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
Come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with the officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer.
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted the state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here. Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. Wow. In more than a month since these reports started, the federal government...
So the drones...
So what's your thoughts on that? They're coming off the ocean.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
That was weird.
I mean, that's what it's been saying ever since the drones started showing up, is they came from a ship in the ocean. What I've been hearing.
So if they're coming from a ship in the ocean and they know it, then why aren't they looking into this ship?
Well, the ship evidently is allowed in U.S. territory, so it wouldn't be a threat.
Right.
And most likely it's one of our my opinion, it's one of our aircraft carriers, maybe. Who knows?
Right.
I have a question. I don't know the answer to this one at all, but just a
well,
theory.
If you don't, we don't.
Oh, no. There's a lot of things I wonder that I wish I had the answer to. What is our, how many miles offshore until you hit the international water?
That's a good question.
Let me look.
Because if a ship was setting out there in international water, there really ain't nothing we could do to them anyway.
Right.
Unless they violated it. Which the drone would be a violation. And I think we should, like what you said. I mean, if we don't know who they are, we don't know where they come from, and they're coming from the ocean, let's drop them over the ocean before they ever make it to us.
Oh, Lord.
But I'm one of them Southern boys.
A woman in her hat.
I bet she's trying to find out.
Yeah, she said she could look it up. I can ask Alexa. Alexa knows everything.
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers.
Oh, shut
but I'm
up.
always learning.
She told you.
Shut up. Oh my
That's
God.
funny. I don't
Oh
have all
wow.
the answers.
I would have thought it was farther. It says 12 nautical miles from the coastline.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. Wow.
That's nothing.
Yeah. Once
Wow.
That's
past that
nothing.
limit, the waters are considered international waters. However,
Uh-oh.
I remember reading something that we extended those.
After 9/11?
There was something, well, in particular areas of the United States, the international waters, the coastline was extended out based on certain curriculum. Because I know I was reading an article about the California area and thinking, well, it won't matter anyways, because hopefully California will fall off soon. But regardless, I remember reading something about that.
So,
Okay, now this one, it says in some areas it could be up to 24 miles. So that's not very far at
Well,
all.
yeah, that's still not very far.
No.
and you know, Roger said you notice where they aren't. And then I believe Urso said they don't have to be coming off a ship necessarily on top of the water. They could be coming from under the water.
Yep.
Yep. So
Which
true.
That's pretty scary too. I'm still trying to figure out what Roger was saying though. He said, "Have we noticed where they're not?" I don't know where they're not. You can't
Clear
do
that
that.
up for us, Roger.
You can't do that to us, Roger. We're too far south.
I live in the hills of Kentucky. I don't know.
Okay, so here's one that really, I hope this is not true, but there's a lot of reports that this is true. This is where it starts getting bothersome.
Look at that. Look at that. He is spraying the sky again. Bro, this is fucking crazy, man. Look at this guy. They're spraying the skies. Look, he just sprayed that. This guy. This guy just sprayed that. Look at this motherfucker. Look at him spraying.
That's an awful lot of liquid to come out of an 8-foot drone.
And did it look like it actually dropped something too? When I saw that video the first time, it almost looked like something like was dropping right behind all of the spray, but I couldn't tell if that was just another drone.
Yeah,
and then they're saying some of these drones are the size of small SUVs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell. It did look like there was something under it. I couldn't tell if it looked like he was spraying or anything. It did look like there was something going on. It did look like there was a cloud kind of around them too, like a mist. And then, man, that gets even worse because then you got to wonder is if they're doing that, just theoretically speaking, what are they spraying in the cities and what are you breathing? Because there was a guy that had a theory based on the 5G network again that the government was doing, their little aerosol spraying in the sky. And he says it wasn't to block out the sun. It was to get people to breathe in heavy metals because the 5G network, if it's used right, could be like putting metal into a microwave. which would be terrible.
Yeah, that's hard to. I mean, my opinion, I don't think.
I hope not. I would hope not.
I mean, if it's spraying on us, it's spraying on our government. It's spraying on. Would we allow that? Would United States allow that?
I don't. I would sure hope not.
And if they spray it, the wind's blowing every direction. You know what I'm saying? It would be going everywhere.
Well, and the next thought would be too, so if that's true and that's the case, if even like when they said with the COVID vaccines and the metals being injected and such like that, anybody that would go in for a CAT scan would have that ripped through their bodies.
Right.
So there would be reports. I mean, it wouldn't be just a one-off thing either. There would be mass reports of people going in for CAT scans having huge medical complications because heavy metals would be getting ripped through their system. I mean, wouldn't there? That would be my thought.
Right. Right.
Unless they're not using the 5G to its full potential to where you would be feeling the effects of it. That was his theory. You put the metals into people, and then later on, if need be, you could wipe out pretty much areas.
But again, I've seen that movie too.
I mean, that'd be terrible. I would hope that they wouldn't do that. That would,
yeah.
I don't. And then this one here, this was one I thought was interesting because it makes you wonder a lot of things. This guy here, he had some good points also.
Over New Jersey and New York, but did you hear the details about it? One, these things are the size of cars or small SUVs. Two, as they fly over the top of houses and other cars, the clocks change time. I have a couple of friends in New Jersey, as these things flew over their house, their microwaves, their stoves, they all changed time. And the cars, as they drive over the top of the cars, they're changing time. Now, here's the other crazy part. I saw another video where this person attempted to fly a drone of their own up towards these drones to get a better look at it. But as soon as they tried to take the drone and launch it, the batteries went from 100% charged to 100% dead. Like that. Somebody actually managed to get a drone up in the air, and as it got close, the battery just died and fell out of the sky. I've also seen a F-150, a video of an F-150 jet chasing one of these things, and this thing took off on that jet and disappeared at speeds that made it look like the jet was sitting still. I'm sure
I guess from what he said right there, the clocks would not be going back to 12, would they? It sounds like he's saying they're actually changing times.
Just changing time, yeah. But all the people taking pictures of these things, I've never seen one take off that fast. All the videos of people taking videos of them, they're just floating in the air, basically flipping around, changing colors. But I haven't seen one just disappear that fast.
There was a guy came on later tonight, and he was talking about, he pulled out his telescope. He had a $high telescope, and again, if he's telling the truth, because we know that they can fake this stuff, he was allegedly showing that what he was looking at appeared to be a wheel spinning within a wheel. And he was pretty much making the assumption that he believed that some of these things may be angels and that the end of time is drawing near, was what he was believing. He said what he was seeing was wheels inside of wheels. And they said also this phenomenon had been happening in Israel before it started happening over here in the Holy Lands. And he said it's almost like they're spreading to the four corners of the world. And I wasn't ignoring anybody either. I couldn't see chat when I do that again, guys. I'm not ignoring anybody. We appreciate each and every one of you being here. So thank you very much for being here.
Yes. And I figured out why my mic keeps turning off whenever you post a video. It shuts my mic off so no sound will come. So
okay.
So I guess it kicks back on after the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no poltergeist here.
You're good to go tonight. You don't have no snuggling partner tonight. I don't think that, from what I've seen, that they're looking at angels. I think a lot of people are taking this as an opportunity to get that moment of fame, to try to get that viral video out, I think.
Yes.
And it's sad that they're using something like this because it makes it so hard to distinguish between what is real and what's not real. And I mean, you may go spend 5-6 hours, investigating something, and come to find out this guy was just been a total liar,
Right. Sounds like a spiral graph that we used to do, circle inside a circle.
Yeah. And then you take a picture of the cameraman and say you've seen a DDN.
Yeah, with camera and 2 legs.
Yeah, he's looking pretty rough lately, though. He's getting a lot of gray on the sides of his head.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe somebody's sending something back to him or what. That
I don't know.
stuff doesn't fare real well on you.
Yeah.
But you look on the bright side, you're not going to have to worry about having to buy propane during the winter if you keep that lifestyle.
There you go.
Welcome to the chat,
Jesse. Over, Jesse. She's not coming into that.
Behave.
Capitol Hill, the Capitol building, they say is not even safe. What do you think about this?
They're not moving. They're staying stationary. They're hovering.
They kind of look wide too.
Look at the lights changing.
It is moving.
No, it's not.
It looks like it.
Yeah, but they're not moving. That's an airplane. Hang on.
Which one? The one closest to the Capitol building?
Hang on, let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, that's an airplane.
But the one in the middle,
that's an airplane. You can see it moving.
Yeah.
The one to the right, or over here.
The one behind the Capitol building is not an airplane.
Or over here. That's an airplane. Okay.
Yeah, over there is, but look at that one.
And I'm saying, like, when you look to the left of the Capitol,
that
those are not moving.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. They're here.
Can we go back in the car? God.
They're here, Ella.
Okay. Heck.
Okay, again, I have to say my opinion. There's no way on this earth that our military is going to let something get that close to the White House.
Yep.
That's
not an opinion. That's fact.
Independence Day. Come on.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That is going to be a 100% no-fly zone.
Yep.
Yes.
If they don't know what's right there, we would use any means necessary to stop it.
I mean, they've shot down people that have jumped the fence and were plainly lost their minds and jumped the fence.
Yeah. There's nothing going to be flying around the White House unless our government is controlling them or knows about them.
Yep.
And then we have a statement from the Pentagon.
It's near sensitive installations. The FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones...
Can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this?
Over.
So she says they're not military drones, but that doesn't take away from it could be the subcontracted companies hired by our government that work under our government but aren't military.
I caught something in that conversation that she said that absolutely made no sense to me. And you tell me what you think. Whenever she said our local law enforcement is looking into it, number one, that's outside of their jurisdiction. That's federal airspace.
Yep.
Local law enforcement doesn't have the ability, the equipment, or the manpower to be able to investigate what's going on. And furthermore, local law enforcement doesn't even have the law protecting them to be able to even do anything to anything in federal airspace to be able to prosecute, attack, arrest, to do anything with. So why would the Pentagon be having local law enforcement investigate things instead of the Pentagon and the military doing it? Whenever you're having an entity, local law enforcement, investigate something that's totally out of their jurisdiction. And I believe the reason they're doing that is because, like what Jesse said, this is only an opinion, but allegedly, if they hired a subcontractor to do this, they want to make sure that they're not outed. So you give somebody the reins that doesn't have the equipment or the know-how to be able to uncover what's going on. Because if you give it to the military and you say, we're going to investigate it, and the military can't find out what's going on, then the people are going to lose faith and trust in the military and say, well, we're not adequate. But if you give it to local law enforcement, you still have that loophole to where they can say, well, we couldn't figure out what was going on because they're saying everywhere right now, we don't have the manpower, we don't have the equipment, it's not our jurisdiction. Then it doesn't make you look bad. Pretty much it rolls downhill. Just my opinion.
Awful quiet there.
You too, Scott.
just my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going with the subcontractor.
Thank you,
theory.
Margie.
I mean, if you're hiding something and you don't want somebody to find out what it is, then you hire the least equipped person to be able to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if these things don't disappear just as fast as they arrived. And we'll end up probably getting a statement released, probably by local authorities, saying that most of these were misidentified aircraft that were single-engine planes and aircraft that was now able to fly at night that were not previously able to fly at night. There was misidentifications, and everything is good and secure, and the military has ran assessments on it. We were never we were never in danger, or was anybody ever at risk, and we was always secure.
And then they'll move on to the next topic, and people will forget about it. And
Right.
then
Look at Miami, the Miami Mall. Look how fast that went away.
Right. And there, there was a lot of things that went on there. A lot of people, they didn't want to spend a lot of time on it, though, did they? They
No.
wanted to push past that. That was shadows, but there was, if you watch some of those people on those cell phones inside of that mall, they were scared to death. And as many people, I can speak from experience on that. I worked in a mall for 12 years, security. If you're in a mall and as many people as what they say fired their weapons inside of that mall, there is no way that happened and you did not have at least injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Because most malls, what are their floors made out of? Marble.
Right.
Their walls are paper thin. Them bullets are going to bounce and ricochet in there like crazy. You're going to have multiple victims inside of a mall if you have shots fired. In fact, a lot of the officers that work inside of the mall that do carry weapons, they carry specialized bullets, which are ceramic bullets that are made to explode on impact to keep from having the ricochet problem inside of a mall if you were to have to use lethal force. So there was a lot of things going on in there that was hidden. A lot of things I believe were hidden inside of that also.
Right.
What's scary is what's coming up next. I mean, it seems like we're progressing. We keep progressing. What are we progressing to? I guess would be the question. Where are they going to try to take us?
Are you leading to something?
Over.
I was just waiting.
Over.
I was just waiting on an opinion. Just an open statement.
Well, I'll stick with my opinion. The government knows what these are. The military knows what these are.
I think I have to side with Scott and Trump. The government knows exactly what's going on and everything is under control. And
Right.
I'll even add my own opinion. I'll even throw my own opinion out there for everybody to pick me apart on. I would even say that this is probably some special program that is designed for homeland security to protect us because we are on the verge of World War III. I believe that we are
Right.
preparing ourselves for a possible invasion or incoming ICBMs.
And that's a good opinion there.
Possibly.
She's gonna abstain. But that would be my theory, because we're in a pretty dangerous place right now. I know that North Korea, they have their people on high nuclear readiness right now. They are preparing to totally decimate South Korea. Our military right now, if you think about it, we're spread pretty thin. We're in a lot of different places right now that are just a bullet away from exploding into a huge war. And it's more dangerous now than what it used to be. Back when we were younger, the military got into an engagement with somebody. A lot of times it was a smaller country where you didn't really have to worry about the homeland. You didn't have to worry about it. But now, with advancements, all these other countries, they have advanced also. And with them advancing, their nuclear power has become bigger. They've got better weapons. God only knows, what they have. Our military is not going to tell us everything that we have, and they're not going to tell us everything they have, because
not a clue.
Mass hysteria. So I think right now we are on a high preparedness for something to happen. I think that we need to turn to God and pray for our country, pray for our servicemen, and pray for our leaders, and pray for the Lord to step in and intervene and to bring peace. because right now I think we're in a very dangerous place in our world. I pray for all of our families that all of us can that we can have peace. To the men and women right now that's serving, that is protecting us, thank you so very much. God bless you guys. To the ones that have served, thank you for your service and thank you for protecting us during your time of even peace. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have time of peace. So to everybody that's protected us, thank you so very much. God, God be with you. But I think that what we're seeing right now is probably one of the first times, probably in our lives and in our children's lives, to where we're actually seeing our government is prepared for a possible strike on our country. I believe that that's what's going on. We're preparing for something to happen. I don't think it's in the air to hurt us. I think it's probably in the air to protect us. Would be my guess.
Yeah. I mean, look how scared people were back when Cuba was going to nuke the United States. I mean, nothing to get. I mean, I don't know. I just don't worry because I really do believe God is in control of everything that happens on this earth.
Right.
And I don't think He's going to allow anybody to do anything that He doesn't want it to do.
I'll be glad. I don't know. I have a feeling that probably within the next few months, we're going to see a huge de-escalation worldwide. I think that we just have to get through this darkness right now, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But I think there is so many in control right now that want to see the downfall of us, that are not willing and not wanting to give up power right now, that are fixing to lose a whole lot. And I think that they're going to hold on as long as they can, and they're going to try to make it as hard as they can.
I agree.
Yep.
That's just that's my opinion. And that's pretty much all I've got tonight, guys. It's I'm sure
And
there's going
on
to be more
that note, happy days.
Stretch the back.
Yeah, without just totally wrecking the channel and going down that path that they don't like you to go down. That would be my opinion.
Mike, don't go outside because you might be picked up by a drone.
Hey, if they do,
they'll drop them right back off.
They better have a strong rope if they try to lift me. I'm going to be chewing on it halfway up. I'm not going to go peacefully.
Well, what were you saying earlier, that they were picking up cows? Well, maybe that's what's spraying. Is the cow. Somebody pick me up, I know I'm going to wet my pants.
Oh, man. Well, Jesse, I'll let you start walking us out of this one, whatever we got ourselves into tonight.
Well, thank you for joining us on this wonderful, cheerful topic that we've discussed tonight. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all of your comments. Appreciate you. This channel wouldn't be here without you. And God bless. Hunter, hopefully we will see you soon. Over.
No. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for all the support. Like Jesse says, I wouldn't be here. Jesse wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mike. We would, he started this good channel, 3-4 years ago?
Yep, 2022.
Yeah. And I remember the very first one. I happened to be on YouTube and just put on that, and I thought, what is this? Abnormal Investigations. And then I see a little kid playing video games behind him, and I said, well, I'll watch it. It seems pretty neat, family-oriented a little bit, and came a long way. Oh, and again, thank everybody for the support for bringing Hunter home. He is definitely coming home. Amen. Over.
Amen. Yeah, it's been a long road. It's been a fun road, and it's also been a hard road. You know, I have mixed thoughts sometimes about the channel. I've enjoyed the ride, and then there's parts of me sometimes that wishes I would have never have put that first video out, because I could have saved Hunter from what he's going through. In my opinion,
right,
Hunter is paying for my success, and that's too heavy of a burden for any child to have to carry.
Our father.
In my opinion, yeah. In my opinion, again, they knew how to hurt me, and they knew what my world was, and he was my world. I'd said it many times on my show.
Right.
And they, in my opinion, they used a child to punish me for my success. It hasn't been easy. It's been hard on the whole family. It's been hard on the co-hosts. It's been hard on the moderators. It hasn't been easy.
No.
But as long as you all keep coming, and as long as you all keep supporting me, then we'll keep doing this. It's not easy. It's a love-hate issue with me right now. I'll be honest. It's there was a lot of times when it would have been nice if others would have stood up.
Right.
But the thing is, I kept my head above water, as Jesse said, by myself.
Right.
And
we've got a lot of people supporting us right now that were against us, against the channel, against Mike, and bringing a lot of information that's going to be a big surprise for everybody.
Yes.
We've had a lot of good people showed up. A lot of good people started supporting us. A lot of people were fooled, and I understand that, because, well, the devil has a smooth tongue.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wish all along that it would have stayed focused on me and not my family.
Right.
But unfortunately, too many evil people got together that were so much alike that it became a darkness that kind of came over like a, I don't know, like an evil veil. But now that veil is lifting, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we just have to trust in God, give it to God. He is our warrior, and we just sit back and do what we do, and let God do what he does, and it will be just, and it'll be perfect, because he doesn't make mistakes. He'll do it in his time, and when he does it, it'll be right.
Amen.
And that's pretty much all I got for you tonight, guys. I appreciate y'all showing up. We'll try to go boots on the ground Friday night at 7 o'clock. It was what we're going to shoot for. If not, we'll do a sit down, but we'll do something Friday night at 7 o'clock. We're going to move the Sundays to Mondays for you guys that go to church. I try to make it to where everybody can join. And as always, guys, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. And hopefully next time we'll get Jessie to talk and rattle on a little bit. And I'll pick on her a little bit and put her on the spot. I had to pick on you. You know I got to pick on you.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for my moderators, guys, honestly, my moderators, my co-hosts, Scott and Jesse, love you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for everything that y'all do behind the scenes. It's not just what y'all do on here. Y'all do a lot off of here, and it means a lot to me. Y'all have definitely been a lot of support to me. So we'll catch y'all on the next one, and I guess just keep being abnormal. That's got me this far.
Amen.